Willkommen, Hunan, and welcome to FTR's Division 2 race around Austria. It's season 6. It's time for race 3 of the season, and as I mentioned, we're heading to the Red Bull Ring in the Styrian Mountains of Austria. This is Webbo here with you as usual, and do let me know who you are if you're watching, and especially who you're here as a supporter of. And after 2 rounds, we see Stoffel leading the championship with a near perfect score set so far. 2 wins, 2 races from Punaki on 38 points, Stoffel on 61. We have Solsmeister on 35, Avalak, session host and league owner, on 30, followed by Brad on 28, Burn It Down on 25, and then Ricky, Donovan, Botta and J-Boy making out your top 10. And in the Constructors' Championship, with obviously a bulk of points scored by Stoffel, we have got Alfa Romeo at the head of the standings on 171 points, with Ferrari second on 89, massive gap, 88 to Red Bull, 80 to AlphaTauri, and 79 to Mercedes. So those are your current standings as they go, as far as we are in early days in this championship. And we have 18 drivers for you tonight. We have, of course, full qualifying, so 18 minutes of Q1, 17 now, as we are down to 17 minutes remaining of the session. I'll get my screens organised, and we'll join the first driver on track very shortly. I'd love to hear from you if you're watching with us live today. Of course, that's where the action is. That's what we like to see, is our audience interacting live, and feel free to contribute however you like, and I'll try and keep up as much as possible. Burn It Down is the first driver out on track, so he will have the honour of the first lap. And we're almost round and back to the start of the first lap here, because of how short the distance is. He's going around the final corner. There are only 10 of them, and we'll take you through here. DRS open as we look towards the sky and try and pick the braking point for turn 1. Start wide, cut in, flatten the corner as much as possible. Try and avoid straddling that yellow long sausage curb on the exit. I don't know what we call that sausage curb in Afrikaans, but we call it a sausage curb here. Down into effectively turn 3. That slight kink on the first big straight is actually turn 2, but turn 3 almost hairpin like, and then we go for downhill braking into turn 4. Quickly becomes turn 5 around about now, and there's a lot of traction on the outside exit of that corner. Then it's 6 and 7, near identical left-handers, the only quick flowing corners on the circuit. 7 slightly slower than 6. Turn 8, we often see drivers have issues in league racing going out of turn 8, and then it's a tiny amount of braking, throw the car into turn 9 and try and collect it by the time you get to turn 10. Burn It Down, the lap going to plan very much on a 105.390 on his first out lap on soft tyres, and that's exactly what he wanted to do, get a clean lap in and done. Who else have we got about to cross the line? It looks like one of our Aston Martins. It is, and it's Ron. Ron goes 106.112. If you're only just joining us, a very warm welcome to you. Do go back to the start of the stream if you want to hear the current championship standings. Donovan smashes his first time, and it's a 104.707. Ezotronic is beating his teammate as well, slots into that gap between Burn It Down and Ron. And remaining on laps at the moment, we've got Cowboy just starting one. Where's Punaki currently? Punaki, he invalidates through turn 8, just trying to take too much apex through turn 8. Easily done, very easily done, and we'll see a lot of that going on tonight, I would imagine. 3 sessions of qualifying, of course, plus a race, a 50% race to navigate that turn 8 track limit problem. Well, Cowboy is still valid on his lap, just looks like a pad user by the steering inputs, unless that's some form of lag, but possibly a pad user here for Cowboy. waiting for the next laps to come in. We've got Rubber General on an out lap. We've got a few drivers playing it pretty cool out there. And I can tell you, I've been told that it is a dry race and qualifying session today. So a nice, clean, fair fight for the drivers. Cowboy, the slowest registered time so far, 106.961, but at least it is a time, and that's obviously going to be important. Stoffel invalidates his lap. Punaki invalidates, I think, his second lap as well. Might be an in lap, but he did invalidate early enough to perhaps run a second one. Let's join Botta, who is in the Red Bull. I think a change of helmet colours or livery perhaps for Botta here for this race. Home race, of course, for his team. And down the hill into turn 4 we go. Slightly more open than turn 3 is turn 4. Easy to mistake them on track sometimes. And we also need to watch out that drivers aren't clearing off the braking marker boards, which I've seen done a lot through this particular track, and it does upset the driver's balance. So into turn 9, over a good apex for turn 9 for Botta, able to collect the car nice and early, hanging it out into turn 10, and it's a 4th fastest, 105.232, but on medium tyres. So getting a feel for what the medium tyres can do. There's no real advantage to running the medium tyres here, other than possibly saving a soft set for the next 2 qualifyings or the race. Rubber General, I'm not quite sure how he avoided invalidating across turn 8 there. I think he was completely off throttle. It's about the only explanation I can give. And away then to the line for Rubber General, and it's up to P9, well, down to P9 I should say, 107.256, so a lot of time to find for Rubber General. And we've got some cars continuing into their 3rd lap on the soft tyres. Esitronic is one of them. Donovan, no, he's slowing, so let's see what Esitronic can do. He's about halfway around the lap. Is his time representative? It certainly is. 2/10 faster on his 3rd lap on the soft tyres. Very interesting tactic. Perhaps just trying to find a traffic-free moment on the track, but no, into the pits. Well, eventually, some indecision perhaps on the way into the pits for Esitronic, despite the fact that he was up on his time. Rubber General is up on his 2nd lap as well, and slightly cleaner through turn 8. By no means was it clean, but cleaner than his previous run. So he should gain in this 3rd sector relative to his earlier time. Some in from the drivers, and it comes in a 106.7, half a second faster than he'd been before. Let's join Mac Star here. His 1st lap, that's why the purple sector is registered. So I won't get too excited about that just yet. He gets down into turn 4, getting good grip on the way out. Perhaps not ideal traction, but he's got the car set up nicely for turn 6. Short shifts for better traction control. Similar pattern, missing the apex, a little bit of understeer for Max Start. Perhaps the tyre's not quite where he wants them yet. And welcome, of course, as I've said before, to anybody joining us in the live stream. Do introduce yourselves, tell us who you're here for supporting. Max Start splits the pack and goes P6 on a 105.264. Stoffel registered a 105.246. Very close. Let's see what the drivers on the bubble, currently having not set times, can do. Punaki sets a fastest time now, a 104.641, and promptly slows to an almost dead stop to get out of the way of everybody. No, sorry, that was his teammate, wasn't it? That was Ricky, slowing to an almost stop into turn 4 to avoid any trouble from the stewards for blocking. J-Boy on target then to complete this lap at least. Ooh, a little bit of oversteer. And just riding the limit of what the stewards will allow on the final corner. It's a 105.0. I'm not sure that would have passed muster in in on-track F1, to be honest with you. I think that was slightly over the limit. Avalak on an in-lap. He has set a 1:05.663. Very, very tight times here. We have got 1.1 seconds separating the entire field that have registered times, so tremendously close driving from everybody so far. Brad still hasn't set a time, but he crosses the line to start his next attempt now. Brad in the Ferrari, his teammate Shakes, the only other driver not to set a time. It almost looks deliberate from Ferrari qualifying tactics. Wait for the track to grip in for a few minutes. We've got 8 minutes to go. We've had 10 minutes already of this session, and it has flown by already. So it is a short track. The drivers will be able to do multiple runs, even if they only start now. But Brad would very much prefer to get himself a nice banker lap in here. Martin, P3 on a 1:04.941. So currently your standings are Punaki, Donovan, Martin, J-Boy, Burn It Down, Botta, and actually Ricky's just split Martin and J-Boy. So the track getting quicker, the drivers finding some rhythm. Brad is on target, gets some helpful avoidance from Martin ahead. Again, misses the apex coming into turn 9, grabs a handful of it into turn 10, tries to slingshot out of the final corner straight up to P2 for Brad. That's how it's done. Cool as you like. Into P2, a 1:04.665, and I say the time's starting to tumble down now. Esitronic is only 1/10 slower than he's been before through here. Actually got a regular driver asking for the stream link. I will remind him and everybody else to subscribe to the channel, please, and then you'll get notified when the race goes live, of course. Let's see what Shakes is up to. Hopefully someone will help J-Boy out with a link. There we go. Thanks to Panda, who's done exactly that. So Shakes pulls the car through the middle of this sector, gets a purple middle sector for himself only at this point. Over the final corner, away to the line then for Shakes. Can he get up? Oh, he can certainly get up. Medium tyre run, a 1:04.520. That's pretty special from Shakes. That is very, very cool driving. Very complete out there. That's exactly what he wanted. Esitronic, less cool, less awesome. Francois is here for Punaki and Ricky. So for the AlphaTauri team, and a great feature of the of FTR's Constructors Championship, it is combined point system across the two divisions, the Premier Division and Division 2. So we do get teammates from across division joining us to cheer on their teammates, and I love to see that. Ron goes up to P13 and on 1:05.213. It Shakes, Punaki, Brad, Donovan, Stoffel, Martin, Ricky, J-Boy, Burn It Down and Botta, your top 10 as things stand currently. Lots of drivers waiting in the pits though to register their next time at the end. Punaki is not impressed with Shakes. Is that just the pace? I'm assuming Punaki is not having a problem with Shakes driving other than the overall speed. That is an incredible time from Shakes. Brad retires from the session on a 1:04.665. Obviously got something to do in between sessions. And Esitronic has picked up 3.5 hundredths on the way through sector 2. So he may head up the grid slightly here. He does need a bigger gain to get up to 15th. But that's probably still not enough to get out of the session. In fact, his final sector not quite there for him. So on the bubble currently, Solsmeister, Esitronic, Cowboy and Rubber General scheduled for potential elimination. Let's join Rubber General then. I'll focus on the drivers at the tail end of the field here as they try and get out of trouble, because we may not see these guys until the race starts. Rubber General. One real corner to worry about in Sector 1. And we get a timing update here. He is slower than he's been before on fresh softs. And that is definitely not going to help. Can he keep the car alive? He can. Solsmeister, the next one to go through. And it's cautious steering. Got very, very loose through turn 1 on these new tyres. Not getting them quite up to temperature. Botta has retired in the pits from 10th on medium tyres. So Solsmeister, that's a fairly brave call from Botta there, but a 15-0, given that there are other drivers quite a bit away from him. 3 or 4 tenths is the elimination zone, so maybe he'll be safe. You can be certain our top 3, 4, 5 drivers are all safe from elimination in this session at least. So Solsmeister then, 2 corners to go. Stamps on the throttle on the way out of turn 9. And again, heading for the line then. It's a 105.286 and Solsmeister did not move up on the grid order, unfortunately. What about Rubber General? He is slower again through Sector 1. Donovan's retired from the session as well. So is anybody going to set a time here? We've got just under 2 minutes to go before the checker flag of Q1. Avalak could be at risk here. It's always a bit of a lottery how many cars the game decides to eliminate per session if we don't start with 20. I think it was here last week that we ended up with 9 drivers taking to battle in Q3, which is highly unusual. Ron has retired. Rubber General has invalidated. We'll have to go again. What about Solsmeister? Esitronic has retired from the session as well. So a lot of the drivers at the foot of the field deciding they can't go any faster. Solsmeister has a purple middle sector here. Let's see if he can collect the car and move up the grid. Straight up to P9 into the 104s. That's how it's done from Solsmeister in the Mercedes. 104.996, and I'm sure he'll be very relieved to get that one, that time registered. Everybody else in the pits at the moment, apart from Rubber General, who again has invalidated his next lap. He's really struggling out there to put these laps in cleanly. Is Max Star doing a lap at the moment? I think he might be. Just using those 4-lap old softs, continuing to practice, which I think is pretty smart. Max Star, I think, is heading for the pits though. Into the pit lane he comes, using the actual pit lane entry rather than the wide alternate approach we've seen a few times today. So has Rubber General decided to go round again. He's coming into the pit, so he won't go any further into this session. Solsmeister also in the pits. So unless we get a very late outlap, that is our session done. And I think, oh, we've got a couple of drivers joining just at the end. I hope that's not AI drivers joining the session. But that is Q1 done and dusted. It's Shakes at the top of the standings. Shakes on a 104.520. Punaki, Brad, Donovan, Stoffel, Martin, Maxstar, Ricky, Solsmeister, J-Boy are your top 10. Burn It Down, Botta, Panda, Avalak and Ron survived the session, and we lost just 3 drivers, Esitronic, Cowboy and Rubber General, who will have to sit out for some time now. 2 more qualifying sessions before they can get back in the seat. But it was a 7/10 gap from 1st to 15th. Remarkable. So expect this to be a very hard fought Q2. See who can survive. That 104.5 time from Shakes, the one to remember. as it was on medium tyres as well. Very, very well done from him. Drivers coming out of the pits already. Who can blame them? Looks like it's an Alfa Romeo's out first. Stoffel, your Division 2 Championship leader. Car's looking fabulous in the Austrian sunshine. So Stoffel on the first lap. Unfortunately, an invalidation crossing the line is not going to do him any favours. Punaki's outlap is timed just behind Burn It Down's first fast lap, so we'll stick with Burn It Down. Into turn 6 then, getting the car hooked up nicely, because this session will dictate your starting tyres if you make it through the session. The top 4 or 5 from the last session will probably use this medium tyre. Oh, but Burn It Down, unfortunately, an invalidation on turn 9, a penultimate corner. What about Ricky? I know we've got Francois here to support Ricky, and Ricky crosses the line. A 105.0 will not be a particularly safe time. Botta goes a 104.7, Solsmeister 105.1. All those drivers on the soft tyre, and J-Boy invalidates across the line through turn 10. That will mean he can't run the next lap either on these tyres. Max Star is also invalidated. It's a bit crazy out there. All of this going on. Punaki, where is he? Donovan goes fastest at 104.6. He's gone for soft tyres as well. A little bit of feathering on the throttle there in the middle of the corner, which is nice to see. Throws the car into turn 9 and just outside of track limits on the little straight between turns 9 and 10. That was a 104.7. That would have been good enough for second fastest on the grid at the moment, but unfortunately you've got to keep it between those white lines, haven't you? Ron then might get a distant tow from J-Boy, but if he does, it's probably going to give him a little bit of upset on his balance, and there you see through turn 10, not the best. Ron then a 105.220. Martin has gone slightly slower than that, and looks like J-Boy again another invalidation. Max Star heading for the line then. The lap is alive. It is a 105.333, but that is only P8 at the moment. Neil is supporting Shakes. Neil, were you supporting Shakes before he pumped in the lap he just did in Q1? I wonder. So Punaki has invalidated the current lap, but will start another one, I think, on 2-lap old softs. So you've got to be careful of the tyre wear here, whether it will inform your race pace or not. Punaki just looking for a safe lap here. Avalak behind him on track, I believe. Not quite getting the rotation of the car in the mid corner that he was looking for, Punaki. Little stabs of the throttle, mid corner again. No, straight into the pits for Punaki. Not happy on that lap. Better to save some time with 9 minutes to go. So Avalak just staying within track limits on the exit of the corner. 104.858 is a lot better than he did in the previous session. So starting to feel the car a bit more, perhaps change a little thing on the setup, and hopefully working a little bit better for him now. There comes Stoffel then. 16.0 first sector time. Looks pretty handy. Does have a car ahead of him on the track, but I think that might be Avalak, and I'm sure he'll get out of the way. Getting good track position here with the car is Stoffel. Purple sector time is only for himself. So away to the line goes Stoffel. This goes into second place time of 104.709, and let's join Shakes and see what he's doing. In fact, funnily enough, Shakes is on soft tyres after putting in the kind of time he did on the previous session on mediums. I'm surprised to see him on there. So Shakes has invalidated his next attempt here, and these soft tyres will be junk now, I think. 7 minutes to go in the session. Panda on his first attempt here, 16.199, should be within range of a good time. Perhaps just maybe a 1 metre away from the apex, make that 2 or 3 in turn 7. Turn 8's fine. And unfortunately there's another invalidation, just pushing that tiny bit too hard through the next corner. J-Boy, a couple of attempts to get the right steering angle through the corner there. J-Boy heading for the line. It's a 104.7. It's right in the ballpark. It's a very, very busy P3 down to P6. Everyone on 104.7s. And it's starting to get very tight out there. Punaki is going for a run on the medium tyres. Navigating turn 4 well. You have to treat the warm-up phase of the tyres very differently on the mediums to the softs for qualifying. So just need to make an adjustment on your outlaps. Purple middle is just for Punaki, of course, as we usually say here on his first in the session. Yellow flag in front is just Martin getting out of the way. Slight delay on the throttle coming out of the exit of turn 9, but it won't cost him too much if he can deal with turn 10 well. A 104.8 is P9. I'm not sure that's completely safe. So currently in the drop zone, Burn It Down, Solsmeister, Ron, Panda and Shakes. Ron has invalidated this lap, so not really worth watching him at the moment. Ricky is on medium tyres, and we've got... Ricky's actually coming into the pits, and we've got Shakes about to start a lap here with 4 minutes to go on the clock for this Q2. Let's start the lap with Shakes. Soft tyres on board. Interesting here. I wonder if he will lift on the final stretch, if he can keep the lap alive, and then come out on mediums and try and better it. So 16.0, mirroring what he did earlier in the first sector. Again, a delay on the exit of turn 3. You'll see different drivers have better days than others at different tracks. Of course, they will have their specialisms. This one isn't looking like a walk in the park for Stoffel, which is good for the championship. Don't want to see Stoffel win every race, do we? Apart from maybe Stoffel fans. Nice pickup through the exit of turn 10. Goes to the line, then Shakes, doesn't lift at all. 104.378. It's only about a tenth faster than he went on the medium tyres in Q1. So quite interesting difference in pace there. I was expecting it to be a little bit more, but a P1 is what he's managed to get there. And we've got Solsmeister on the elimination bubble. He is nearly 600th slower than he's been before through sector 1, which is really just one corner. So we'll get an update in the middle of the turn 6-7 double left-hander. It's not quite a double left-hander, is it? But it's near enough. Here we go then, approaching turn 6. Begging the car to come further into the apex. He's losing further time through this sector. Let's see what Burn It Down, his teammate, is doing. He's also losing time and invalidated. We've got a minute and a half. There will be one more opportunity really for these guys to do better. Shakes has left the session in P1. He's not going to try and better the time on mediums. He's quite happy starting on softs. Sergeant Panda is suffering some oversteer through turn 3. I wonder what the Mercedes pairing are going to cross the line for the second sector on this probable last attempt. Maybe they'll have the chance for another one. Panda is 300ths faster than he's been before. Let's see Solsmeister. He's invalidated, sadly. So we'll see what Burn It Down can do, as Panda looks to be heading up the field. 104 doesn't look safe today. Burn It Down slightly slower. Panda for the line. He gets up to P10, right on the cusp of elimination. So a 104.863 beats Punaki's 104.866. But Punaki going quicker, but he has invalidated the lap. I'm not sure he's quite going to make it round, is he? Ron has invalidated as well. I'm getting a bit tired of saying that word tonight. Let's see. Does Punaki make it round before the checkered flag? I think he will, look. As long as he didn't double invalidate that one. 4, 3. And he has made it round to start another lap. So we'll join him again shortly. Avalak again, like I say, on the cusp here. Punaki might get a tow from the car in front. He is 003 underneath his time. He needs a bit more than that, although that would get him equal time to Sergeant Panda. It's that close. Max start for the line then. Max Star across the line. P10 just pushes out Sergeant Panda from that all-important 11th place. Not a bad place to start the race if you can't make the top 10. P11, first choice of tyres, of course, for the drivers. Punaki, update on his time, please. 1.5 tenths faster. Shellin says Brad for pole, a 104.0 is Shellin's prediction, which is what I like to see. Get your predictions in, of course. A 104.0 would be a very strong time. Punaki straight up to P4 and rescuing it right at the death. He had, I think, 4 seconds in hand to cross the line at the last step. He has put an extra lap on those softs, but he makes it through. Looks like it's Max Star, Panda, Ron, Burn It Down and Solsmeister, Mercedes, both out in Q2. Ricky, I think, has unfortunately had the load shedding issue and will not take any further part in tonight's racing or qualifying, which is a big shame. So making it through and scoring, gets the fastest time, but only by 200ths from Brad, Donovan, Stoffel, J-Boy, Martin, Botta and Ricky were all within 4 tenths or less as they cross the line. That is one of the closest Q2s I think I've ever seen. Then we've got Max Star, Panda, Ron, Burn It Down and Solsmeister all eliminated in that Q2 session. Ricky is cheering on Punaki, who got that one, who got that time in right at the death of the session. And Sheldon cheering on Punaki as well. So a lot of support for Punaki out there. Q3 on its way, and of course this is where we decide the grid and the pole position. So 12 minutes have already started counting down. And of course, everyone can throw caution to the wind when it comes to using those soft tyres. And out of the pits come all the drivers. Martin will need to avoid crossing the white line like that in the race. Someone might report him. So it looks like the load shedding took effect on the hour for Ricky, who will stay in the pits for the session. Make sure you've subscribed to the channel today, please. You don't want to miss the Premier Division, and if you would, if you've been enjoying the coverage so far, do leave us a like on the video as well. If you've got other friends who like racing, tell them to join us for this qualifying session and the race. Martin takes to the track for his first attempt here in Q3. The track should be at its best now, or in 2 or 3 minutes time. I think the other drivers in the pits at the moment are waiting to do 2 runs once everyone has cleaned the track for them. A 16.0 in the first sector for Martin is a good time, as we've seen in previous sessions. Dealing nicely with the first sector and a half. And we'll get an update here. Lots of drivers missing the apex into turn 6 tonight. Not finding a lot of grip out there at this stage of proceedings. Car light with fuel, of course, and an invalidation, as we see so many times, unfortunately, from him. Stoffel is also invalidated. We've got, I think, Punaki coming up behind Stoffel, looking for that toe. A 104.7 is a time that's been registered. I don't think it's going to be right up there. What was it? Shellin's prediction of 4.0. J-Boy goes 4.5. Punaki has been demoted to third after Donovan puts in a 4.6. Avalak is on a lap as well right now, just coming out of sector 2. Heading down into turn 9 then. Car looking under control. Everything going well for Avalak. On the way out of turn 10, a 4.694 gets him into P3 at the moment. But I do anticipate things to get a little bit tighter than that. I think that will be our field spread. I think a 4.7 will probably be one of the slowest times we see in this Q3 session. Stoffel. Will it be pole? Will it be another win tonight? 3 from 3. P4 of 4.696. Maybe the track is slowing down slightly. Let's see what Brad can do in the Ferrari. Ferraris have been super quick tonight. That's a little bit closer to the apex from Brad. Purple middle sector, of course, because he's on his first lap. Keeps the car valid through turn 8. Wonder how many cars we will lose tonight in the race in turn 8. That would be a nice prediction to give us. And on the way out of the final corner comes Brad, a 4.565. Still not provisional pole just yet for the Ferrari driver. Shakes, Martin, Ricky, and well, no Ricky, but Botta are all yet to register their times. But at the moment it's J-Boy, Brad, Donovan, Avalak, Stoffel, Punaki, and Shakes. And Punaki that are your registered times in this session. Not long to go now in the session. I'll give you an update as soon as we stop having yellow flags everywhere. Looks like Botta has come out on his outlap. Shakes temporarily away from the session and has managed to come back in. Just under 7 minutes to go, so time enough for 2 runs from the drivers. Of course, the track evolution will not be as great as the other drivers have not been out on track. So the track won't be able to rubber in quite so much. Full dry conditions for tonight's sessions. Brad gets a 104.254 on his second lap on those soft tyres. So it looks like the second lap is the hottest one. See what Botta can do then as he starts his new lap. Currently P10, no time set. Straddles that exit curb, and unfortunately that is all she wrote for that particular lap. Brad is on a slowdown. We'll join Donovan on his out lap. He'll have the track to himself, he hopes. No one will come out of the pits anytime soon. Martin comes out right now. Who's your bets for pole position then, viewers? Let me know who you think is going to get it. Can anyone take it off the Ferrari pair? We'll watch with Donovan then. Let's see how he goes about. Probably his penultimate run. Nice angle through turn 1. He'll be looking to make sure the driver in front knows he's there, who has come out of the pits. It's Stoffel. Gets out of his way very well indeed. Donovan. I didn't catch what the actual time was. Big correction on the way out of turn 3 though. So it's far from ideal at this stage. We've got lots of outlaps for the drivers who didn't come out to start with. Just about staying valid. Donovan is pushing hard here, trying to maximize every inch of the track. 104.645, his best time so far. He'll need a big final sector to move forward on the grid. Currently P3, Donovan crosses the line, improves but not by enough. P3 he remains, and will join Shakes as he's just navigated turn 1. Gets a 15.9 in the first sector. That is very strong. Down into turn 3, trail braking to the apex, very smooth indeed from Shakes here. Catches a little bit of grass on the inside edge of turn 5. Turn 6, he was early on the throttle. I feel like he had to lift ever so slightly. Martin goes P2 at the moment. Brad still P1, a 4.2. Will Shakes get up there with his Ferrari teammate? Currently P9, Shakes heads to the line. It's a second fastest time, a 104.379, but it could be that the next lap is the best one, as it was for Brad. So we'll ride with him at the moment. Stoffel goes P4 on a 4.4 on his next one. Shakes slightly up through sector 1, and with a little bit less correction going on through the next one. I'm afraid, Revolution, I can't read what you're writing. If anyone would care to translate, that'd be awesome. But I'd love to react. Shakes into turn 6. That looked like a good apex, and he's 007 under. Again, that's not enough to get the provisional pole. 2.5 minutes to run for Shakes. Is he coming into the pits? He is. He's decided a new set of softs is the way to go here. I think Stoffel will do the same thing after invalidating that lap. Avalac, though, is on a good lap. He's got purple in the first sector. That's no mean feat when Brad and Shakes are out there. Into turn 3 then. Little short shift up to third gear. Botta has retired from the session. In the pits, so I thought perhaps retiring from the session with 2 minutes to go in P9 was a strange situation, but it was deliberate. Avalac then, P8 at the moment. A couple of downshifts to 6th into turn 9. Good grip on the exit of 10. Avalac jumps Donovan, and it's P7 for Avalac with 1 minute and a half to run in the session. J-Boy's next one out there to attack the racetrack, and he gets 006 underneath his first sector time. Mini corrections going on the way out of turn 3. Kunaki complaining about Rohan. I don't know who Rohan is and why you would be complaining about him. Oh, Brad goes faster still, 104.116, moving the marker away from our drivers even further. Shakes is on an outlap. He should get round. So is Martin. He should do the same thing. And we've got, I think, Stoffel, no, J-Boy coming round. Is he going to start another lap? I think he will. We're on board with Donovan at the moment. So Brad currently a 104.116. Donovan, that's end of qualifying, end of session for Donovan. He's possibly blocking the track slightly on the way through turn 5 is Donovan, as we've got Martin starting the next lap. Is Brad on a hot lap? No. So Martin starting the next one. Don't have an update on his time. Shakes, he is 009 faster. J-Boy, a purple middle sector. Let's ride with this driver then, because he is going faster at the moment. Can he do it? Can he get himself up there near the front row? Brad's retired from the session. J-Boy sprints to the line. He gets up to P2, splits the Ferraris. No mean feat tonight. These are the final runs. Shakes has had, I think, another purple middle sector. So finding grip out there in the middle of the track. Shakes just needs to get turn 10 dealt with. That's a bit wide. It's too wide, is it? No, he holds the lap alive. Shakes for the line, and I don't think it made a difference to his overall run. I think that exit of turn 10 was less than what he wanted. Let's see though. It is Brad who took the pole position at 104.116, and it was Shalin who said a 104.0. That's near enough, so the kudos goes to Shalin. J-Boy in second, a quarter of a second behind. Shakes just a further 100th back in third. Martin Avalak, Stoffel Punaki, Donovan Botta, and Ricky, who I don't think will take any further part in the race, unfortunately, due to that load shedding issue. So we have a race on our hands then. It's about to go racing. A last opportunity to get your friends involved by sharing the race on socials here before the formation lap is done. And also your last chance here to get your predictions in for the race. Let me have your podium predictions. Only choose 3, please. And that's what we want. So Shalin says, Mr. Gear. Remind me, Shalin, you are Shakes, are you not? Yeah, frustrated to not get up onto the front row, or stay on the front row, we should say. We will have a pretty short formation lap for you. Just enough time, hopefully, to take you through the tyre choices. Brad, after qualifying, adding amazing Q2 on medium tyres, will have fantastic tyres for the race. Medium for Brad, Maxstar, Ron, and Solsmeister. Esitronic has chosen hard tyres away from the line, so we'll probably be in P18 by the end of the first lap. If everybody makes it through cleanly, but in a good place, a good flexible place to start the race. Brad running off the track. I think maybe J-Boy just upsetting his rhythm. Everybody else, of course, on soft tyres away from the start. So we'll try and remember that. I'll put it back on the screen shortly, but I'll try and save a bit of screen real estate for the start, so you can see as much as possible away from the start of the race. Then Brad, J-Boy, Shakes. It's a Ferrari engines 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Pretty cool for the Ferrari engines here in the Red Bull Ring. Of course, I say all that, but it is equal performance. These cars, it is just a coincidence, unless they're all sharing amazing setups across the teams. Yeah, Brad, J-Boy, Shakes, Martin, Avalak, your top 5. We'll have 36 short laps around the Red Bull Ring. Nice of Ricky to wish everybody luck. We're down to 17 human drivers, so Ricky his AI will race, I'm afraid. Okay, a little bit of porpoising from the rearmost Ferrari there before we get underway. I think that might be a little bit of connection issue. But the final driver, Rubber General, has arrived towards his pit box and will be underway for you very shortly. This is round 3 of the FTR Division 2 Season 6 race. 36 laps await around the Red Bull Ring here. The lights are on. And it's go, go, go. The Ferraris, Alfa Romeo, making almost formation starts. A lot of banging of wheels going on in the background. I saw one of the other Red Bulls, and possibly it was Maxstar involved, as there's Martin running wide, and Avalak getting tucked up behind the rearmost Alfa Romeo of Stoffel, the race winner from the first 2 races of the season. Avalak just getting the car stopped comfortably, but Stoffel having none of that attack, as Punaki tries to launch an attack on Avalak, but he slots in behind him, looks for a little bit of a tow, as then he'll be alongside towards the braking zone. A bit of action going on as the Aston Martin and Haas drivers, Martin and Ron, try to navigate this corner. I think Ron has had a fantastic start. Burn It Down moving up the field. Esitronic from the middle of I think it was 16th on hard tyres, predictably enough, moving down. But everyone will be queuing up to get past Ricky's car as well. Avalak Punaki moving up as well. We've got J-Boy moving down the grid. J-Boy having made a mistake or being pushed out of turn 8, running wide now. Is his car in good condition? It is not. He's lost a front wing, so possibly running into the back of the car in front. That leaves the way clear for the Ferrari pair to duke it out here for the top of the tree. Wow, that's not nice team play at all, is it? Brad's absolutely shoving Shakes up the rear end. Brad's front wing may have suffered a little bit of damage as a result of that contact, or it will be highly vulnerable next time round. Punaki is a quarter of a second back behind Avalak, who is losing ground slowly but surely to the top 3. Brad, Shakes, Stoffel, Avalak, Punaki, Donovan, Ron, Botta and Cowboy. Then Rubber General moving up the field, up 8 places, Cowboy and Rubber General right from the back, as Solsmeister and Ezitronic pit right now. And those were your highlights of positions changed. We'll remind ourselves the tyres. Ezitronic taken off the hard tyres, has put on mediums, and Brad with a new fastest lap. It's now half a second back. DRS will be enabled in the next opportunity for these drivers. So Shakes less than half a second behind Brad. Looks like he'll be challenging into turn 3. There he goes, draws alongside, gets the inside line and past. Remember, Shakes on the soft tyre has a better advantage at this current time, so Brad would do well to just follow Shakes and let him run his own pace for the good of Ferrari. Punaki very much closing on the back of Avalak, but they've all got DRS at the moment. As soon as Stoffel gets dropped by the Ferrari pair, we will start to see some action, and he's just about on the cusp, isn't he, from dropping out. Look at the field spread already. There's only 2 corners separating first and last from being lapped. It's such a short track. Punaki, quarter of a second behind Avalak. We'll have another go at DRS shortly, but Avalak, of course, has the DRS on the car in front as well. Brad is a little distance away as Punaki tries to catch Avalak here. Good exit for Punaki. Avalak knows it and takes the inside line. Punaki, they've both got the DRS here. It'll be how they use the ERS. A double tap on wheel for the 2 drivers. Hard fighting going on. We love it here at FTR. And Punaki shies away from making the move stick. Avalak just closing out the braking zone, really, of Punaki. I wouldn't want to criticise our league owner at all, but didn't leave much room on the racetrack for Punaki, who goes down the inside into turn 6. They can run side by side through here if they're willing to cooperate. Punaki with the inside line. That becomes the outside into turn 8. And Avalak gets the overlap once again. And this has been a tremendous lap-long battle between Punaki and Avalak. But unfortunately, they have now dropped back from Stoffel, and possibly too far shortly. Stoffel trying to run his own race here on the soft tyres. Brad is staying with his team leader at the moment on soft tyres. Exactly what he wants from the plan. And Donovan is going to enter this battle for 4th place, led by Avalak, with Punaki between the 2 drivers there. Punaki looking for a wide entry. Good exit of turn 3. Let's see how it looks on the back of Donovan. And Punaki's already spent most of his ERS. He's already derating down the straight on lap 5 of 36. Quite surprising to me that he's already spent so much, but he was battling with a double DRS situation with Avalak on the previous lap. Avalak settling into a rhythm now. Maybe starting to get the rhythm, get the grip sorted, get into his tyre saving phase. Whoa, Punaki heads to the pits early doors, and almost surprising himself as he uses the pit lane entry for the first time. 4 laps deep, end of 5 laps deep into his stint. That's very early, but if he feels he's being held up and he's committed to a 2-stop, why not go for it now? Brad is just half a second back from the leader of the race. His teammate Shakes making great use of the DRS here to pull them away from Stoffel. Now the gap is 2 seconds to P3. Will Avalak be able to have a go on Stoffel anytime soon, or is he going to be watching his mirrors for Donovan? We'll keep a close eye from this perspective of the helicopter, as close as you can get from a helicopter, which is pretty close. And around the Red Bull ring, the helicopter shots do look very, very cool, because they don't get up to VMAX for very long, so the helicopter can stay with them. There's no reason why we couldn't have drone footage, custom drone footage here in the game, is there? But away down to start lap 7 go this leading group, leading 6 drivers, now 5 seconds clear of the field. Here comes Donovan using a bit of ERS, I fancy, because Avalak has the ERS as well. The DRS. Whoa, again, not quite leaving enough space. I think there may be some issue with connection and lag from each driver's perspective. I don't think anyone would be doing that deliberately. That's an easy way to lose the race. So perhaps a little bit more margin needed from the drivers. Donovan successfully getting past Avalak, who is now just 1 place in front of his Red Bull teammate in 5th and 6th. Botta there, then Ron in 7th, racing much better than he qualified. Cowboy up, but Punaki, having made that pit stop, is in 9th position. Could be the mother of all undercuts from Punaki here, potentially. We'll keep an eye. Remember, he was with Avalak and Donovan prior to his pit stop, but it was very early doors for that pit. Lap 8 then of 36. Shakes leads Brad for a Ferrari 1-2, potentially. Stoffel, who has only had wins so far this season, is in P3. Ron, Cowboy, Punaki, Martin, your top 10. Looks like Burn It Down might be getting past Rubber General here. Very, very close battling going on, but there are your stops already. Here comes Rubber General with tremendous overspeed from the DRS. Gets the job done once again, getting his place back against Burn It Down, but Burn It Down had the inside line there with a much better exit and a second and another go with the DRS. Should be able to time that one beautifully. Top 5 still refusing the pit lane, so Punaki waiting patiently for everybody to come on in. Got a few penalties on the board as well, 3 seconds each for Donovan, Punaki, Esitronic, and a 5-second penalty for Burn It Down. In terms of position change, Ron has gone up 7, Cowboy still maintaining that strong start, up 9, yet to pit though. And we've got who else? Rubber General up 6. Looks like Botta and Ron are having quite a ding-dong battle here. Botta running wide. Enter the fray. Botta stage left, but not quite there for him. It's reaching the end of the soft tyre stints here. Ricky says Avalak's elbows are out today. I'm pretty sure there must be some kind of problem with lag on one of the drivers. Maybe Avalak is not quite seeing what everyone else is seeing. Certainly in the mood for fighting tonight, isn't he? Not lying down for sure. Moving to the right-hand side comes Stoffel to indicate he's coming into the pits. It didn't quite stop Donovan and Avalak from running into him as he tries to slow through turn 9. It is a pig's ear of a pit entry in this track on the racing line as cars are slowing, but he did everything he could to indicate he was coming into the pits, and it really is the job of Donovan and Avalak in that position to take a wider entry into turn 9 and avoid him. They are joined by Ricky's AI there, who won't pick up points regardless of where he finishes for Ricky tonight, unfortunately. So we've got the two Ferraris now 4.5 seconds ahead of the field from Donovan and Avalak. Further 5.6 seconds back comes Ron and Botta. Then again 5.8 seconds to Cowboy. And then some quite big gaps opening up. The Williams pair are close together on track. Let's go have a look at Rubber General and Sergeant Panda. Rubber General was just fighting with Burn It Down, but has lost 4 seconds to Burn It Down in the previous lap. So obviously not having a good time on those tyres at this stage. And through comes Sergeant Panda on much better medium tyres. Again, another big undercut coming from Sergeant Panda. Could be running a soft medium strategy today, which would be plan B very much, not plan A. Donovan picks up another penalty, it seems, defending from Avalak, who's going down the outside now. And Maxstar picks up a penalty as well. Avalak, little nudge in the front to go with his wheel banging he's already done. Wasn't quite expecting, I think, Donovan's apex speed to be as low as it was. Brad is really closing now on Shakes, and the roles are very much reversed when it comes to their pace. Looks like Shakes struggling for grip now. Brad enjoying the peak grip of the mediums. They will feel at their best relative to the rest of the field at this point. But Shakes does not pit. Might be wanting to get to lap 12 to split the race in 1/3, 2/3. But Donovan comes in at the end of the 11th lap, and he goes for medium tyres now. So a little bit of extra tyre saving to do at the end. But the big question is, where does Punaki come out relative to Donovan, who... Well, Punaki has got that undercut done very, very well. Massive undercut from Punaki. So looking like the undercut very strong tonight, or around the Red Bull Ring, certainly. Punaki using some DRS advantages, a little bit of clear air as well, and getting the job done there. His gap to Avalak is just 12 seconds. So it's really working very well for Punaki at this point, but he may have to stop an extra time or use 2 sets of mediums potentially, unless he's got Perez-like tyre saving skills out there. Shakes 4 tenths, less than 4 tenths behind his teammate Brad on the different tyres. So Brad has now retaken the lead, and Shakes will try and stay with Brad through this lap. If he drops out of DRS, that'll be straight into the pits. Avalak now pits as well. So will he get overtaken by both Punaki? Well, Punaki's already passed. Amazing stuff. And we'll see the more direct comparison of the undercut. Looks like Donovan is going to comfortably get Avalak as well. So, yeah, big, powerful undercut today at the Red Bull Ring for our drivers. Brad and Shakes continue to lead this race, now by 13.6 seconds, as the majority of the field have pitted once at least. We'll see if Shakes decides to come into the pits now, or will just use the DRS while he's got it. He is drifting back from Brad, so he may only have it one more lap. Is he shaping for the pit lane? No, he's going to keep riding this wave as long as he can. So I think that might just be one more lap if Brad isn't going to cooperate further by bringing his teammate with him. No real reason for Brad to do so. Lap 14 is a great time to pit for mediums, you have to say. Ron, though, still hasn't pitted on mediums either. And Cowboy making up to P6 already, and he is 12 laps deep into his stint. He obviously put on a second set of softs, did he? No, he's just crossed the line now, so that explains that situation. Martin and Botta are fighting down here on very different tyres. Botta on fresh softs, Martin on old mediums. Martin going for the move on Burn It Down, as Burn It Down's tyres are fading fast, and he's got Botta taking advantage around the outside. Beautiful move from Botta there. He might be hoping to try and get Burn It Down quickly, otherwise he's going to be delaying him hugely. Now Shakes stays out another lap, and he's actually closed that gap back up to Brad, using the DRS smartly. Ron finally pits. Well, he pits slightly ahead of schedule, maybe. Lap 14 on the medium tyres. I don't think he'll get softs comfortably to the end of this race. There's a fair few laps still to go. Botta makes the move on, burn it down on the next available DRS zone, and comfortably through. So he'll be very quick at this point. Avalak is going to take the pain now, but he might well get the race come to him later, relative to Punaki and Donovan, who he was fighting with earlier on. Stoffel in P4 has pitted 4 laps ago for those medium tyres, trying to make those medium tyres last. Shakes has had a tremendous tyre strategy here. He's got through to the end of lap 14, and into the pits he comes. And let's see if he gets out into some clear air as well. Next on the circuit is Punaki in 3rd place on the medium tyres, pitting ahead of most everybody else. Punaki manages to overtake Shakes with the undercut, as will potentially Donovan. Will he? No, Shakes manages to come out, but his tyres are cold at this moment. 1 or 2 corners, he'll be vulnerable to Donovan's better braking performance. They're on medium tyres. Shakes needs to be careful to bring them in nicely, not too aggressively, but he seems to have settled into that 4th place behind Stoffel, Punaki, and of course Brad, who has yet to stop. I think Brad is the only one who has not stopped yet, as we see Max start in the pits, who got a similar length of race through on his softs. In fact, he's put aged mediums on right now. Obviously used too many sets during qualifying. Stoffel just 4/10 behind Punaki in the battle for 2nd as things stand, although I think Shakes will have 2nd at least. But Punaki has a penalty. Stoffel picks up a penalty as well. Does that put them on equal terms? No, Punaki still has 3 seconds more than Stoffel. So, in the back of my mind, I think Stoffel's been driving penalty-free this season so far, but he gets the place regardless. Manages to overtake Punaki cleanly into turn 3. So nicely done from Stoffel. Shakes will presumably be the next one to have a go, but he's a little bit stuck in a DRS train here. Those tyres will only feel newer for 2 or 3 laps, so he needs to take advantage of that tyre delta he's got right now. Look at the grip difference he's got on the inside of turn 6 and 7. Punaki running wide, derating at the same time. Yellow flag in sector 3 we've got, but quickly clear. And we'll join Shakes, who might be able to use a little bit of ERS. Punaki underneath 10% of ERS remaining. Good turn 1 positioning from Shakes. Looks like he's going to have to do this on the outside. They get close. Punaki drifts away from danger, tries to hold on down the inside. Apologies, I hit the mic at the crucial moment, but Shakes surviving that one. Of course, he gets DRS now as well on the back of Stoffel, so should be able to secure this position. Back up to P3 for Shakes. He's got Stoffel ahead on 6-lap older medium tyres, and Brad still waiting for his first pit stop. His delta now to P2 is 14.1 seconds, and while that continues to grow, he will stay out, but 14 seconds is not enough to hold on to the lead of the race. Gets past Stoffel, that gap will drop, but for Brad, he has to get into the window where the softs will make it to the end. and that could be with 14 to go. So in another 2 or 3 laps time, that would be the ideal position for Brad to come into the pits. Ricky's AI is complicating matters a little bit down here, as we've got blue flags in operation. They get past 2 cars in one go. Max Star was lapping Ricky, who was both were being lapped by Shakes, Stoffel and Punaki. That's why it got all difficult there, as Donovan's catching this group nicely as well. And we still have 17 humans in the race. No DNFs yet by accident or incident. Had some contact, but everyone has survived so far. Donovan has some great pace here relative to Punaki, so expect to move that gap at the front now down to 12.1 seconds. So Brad is going to pit, he's going to come out behind these drivers, and then he's going to have passing to do. So it is going to be interesting. In 1 or 2 laps time, he's going to have the window open for the soft tyres. Down the inside comes Donovan. Not quite got the job done. That was very clumsy from both drivers, not quite managing to navigate their way around cleanly. I think there again might be a little bit of connection lag between the 2 drivers there. That looked too clumsy to be real or genuine, but some contact. Everybody survived. No harm, no foul as far as I'm concerned. And now Stoffel, 1.3 seconds behind Shakes, has just dropped out of DRS range. And if he wanted to be in range for this win tonight, he needed to stay in that DRS range and put pressure on Shakes to get a penalty. Shakes and Brad without penalty, as is Avalak, Botta, Sergeant Panda, J-Boy, Salzmeister as well. Still waiting on that last pit stop of the race from Brad, your leader. His gap down to 10.2 seconds. So it's all important where Brad can come out of the pits. I think, in fact, that someone is unlapping themselves on Brad. Such is his pace right now. Is that Salzmeister unlapping himself against Brad? And is that an indicator to Brad that his pace is dropping too low? Who knows? Salzmeister on far newer mediums, of course, 3 laps old. Sergeant Panda pits 18 laps deep into his medium run. He thinks he can get softs to the end. Does Brad agree? Because Brad is coming in, I think, coming into the pits. If you're having someone unlap themselves, that is a pretty strong warning to you. So into the pits with 15 laps to go will be Brad. And all important where he comes out of the pits. So let's see. I think he's got quite a bit of overtaking he's going to have to do. We'll see if that includes Avalak. I think it might do. They'll be level-ish on the way out, but Avalak has his tyres up to temperature. Brad on his way out of the pits now, and let's see, will Brad be going for a fastest lap option here? Currently Burn It Down holds the fastest lap at 6.0. You'll see drivers often try the fastest lap attempt on the first lap out of the pits, and then again at the end of the race. He's cleared Avalak, which means he won't use DRS for his fastest lap attempt, if indeed he's going to do it. But you can see the job he's got ahead of him. 5 seconds to 4th place, a further 1.3 seconds to the podium, 1.8 seconds to the podium. Shakes will be watching the clock and asking Jeff repeatedly, where is my teammate, through to the end of this race. So hoping that everybody holds up his teammate to the point where Brad can get the win. Let's ride with Brad though, because I've got a feeling he might be running here for a fastest lap attempt. He's spending on the way out of turn 10. And again out of turn 1. I think this is probably what's happening. We've got pit stops for Stoffel and Punaki. That's going to help Brad no end. Brad now up to P3 already. There he is, faster than he's been before through sector 1. relatively short shifts. Certainly no delay on the gear shifts from Brad here. Down we go into turn 4. Lap update on its way. Yeah, it's a lot quicker. So I think we'll have a new fastest lap of the race shortly from Brad. Of course, everybody else has this option who started on mediums or who has a free pit stop in hand. Picks up the throttle, spends away, and it's a 6.2 new fastest lap, I believe. No, it's not. In fact, it's not a new fastest lap. Burn It Down holds it with a 106.0, so Brad couldn't get it done on that one. Very interesting, to say the least. So let's see where we've got some close cars in action. Ron, so 8 seconds is Brad's bid for the lead inside of 12 laps. He's got a catch. Ron is close behind Stoffel as well. Ron on soft tyres, which will really struggle to make the end of this race. Might well need to stop again, Ron. Got any other battles at the moment? Solsmeister is within range of J-Boy. Might have a look down in that battle for 13th shortly. Oh, there's a new fastest lap from Brad. Unfortunately, we missed it. In comes Ron then, I think, into the pits. So let's go down and see what Solsmeister and J-Boy are doing. They're both pitted to the end. Their medium tyres will make it comfortably. So now everybody just about, I think, is ready for the end of this race. We can take a look at the progress forward through the race. 7 up for Burn It Down, 8 up for Cowboy, make that 9. Now he's past Ron in the pits. And 6 up for Donovan is a very strong bid for second place here, but he may be third if Brad has got anything to do with it. So very strong from the drivers there. Of course, down 11 goes J-Boy, just in front of Solsmeister here. I'm not quite sure what the story of J-Boy's race has been, but it's not been hugely successful. Dan has joined very, very late into the party. I don't think he'll be able to take control of a car at this late stage, but he's just joining to watch the race with us, I think. I saw a comment from Dan in the driver chat, but it was in Afrikaans, so as I've already mentioned, I'm afraid that discounts my understanding of what's going on. Avalak pits, unfortunately, he's going to have to pit for the end of this race as well. Sergeant Panda is closing here on the back of... No, Botter is actually making a move here. We've also got Martin on new softs, chasing down Ron ahead. Is that about to turn into a move? Brad's gap to the podium to Donovan is 2 seconds. Add on Donovan's penalty. Down the inside comes Martin on Ron. They will continue their battle down into turn 4, where I expect Martin to complete the move, but if he leaves a gap on the outside, there is some grip on the way out and through turn 5. Looks like Martin. Job done. Botta likewise on Panda. So drivers finding each other on track once again. There goes Botta using the inside line into turn 6 and cleanly through. Saltzmeister didn't get J-Boy that time round. And the gap between second and third now 1.4 seconds. Donovan to Brad. But Shakes is getting away from Brad here at this point, and the longer Brad takes to overtake Donovan, the harder a job he's going to have as we enter 9 laps to go in this Division 2 race. This is the 3rd race of the championship. Stoffel's won the first 2, but it's unless something pretty unexpected happens, I'm not sure that's going to repeat. into the third race. So good for the championship, less good for Stoffel. J-Boy not really contributing a huge amount of points to Alfa Romeo, to his team. So I'm sure his teammates across the division will be keen for him to pick up the pace, maybe help him out a little bit. And let's watch this battle for second then, as we enter the final stage of the race. A quick look at the penalty situation. Donovan is already in P3 effectively. How hard will he fight this one? Probably not particularly hard if he's looking to get tyres to the end and take advantage of some DRS following Brad. So Brad up to P2, but 7 seconds behind his teammate with about 8 laps to go. That's a pretty big ask. Let's see what kind of time he can take out of his teammate. He gets a purple middle sector using the DRS that time round. Brad Shakes has very little traffic ahead at this stage, so this will be a Ferrari duel to the end of the race, but it will be done on the timing screen rather than on track until we get right at the end of this race. Donovan hanging on to the back of Donovan's coattails for as long as he can. Try and make sure he finishes that crucial 6 seconds. Well, in fact, it's 9 seconds. He needs to be ahead of Stoffel to secure the podium tonight. Or have I just got my maths wrong? Let me know. Maths are hard. So Brad taking 0.2, quarter of a second out of Shakes in the first sector of this lap. Now he's into some clean air. Keep an eye on that while we go and see some action further back. Botta takes 10th place off Martin. I'm kind of surprised to see that, actually, because Martin's on the soft tyres, but Botta appears to have the ERS remaining in the car. Go back to have a look at the tyre situation. Martin on full up old softs should be in a better position here than Botta. Martin down the inside. Oh, Botta really had to stamp the brakes on. Didn't want to go around the outside, and Martin dealt with that one very decisively, wasn't it? Great stuff from Martin, taking that place back very quickly. So very competitive top 14 tonight, you'd have to say. Less so for Rubber General, Esotronic, Maxstar, who have slipped back as the race has progressed. 6.5 seconds now, and this is not the rate of pace difference that Brad will be needing. He needs more pace than he's unlocking at the moment against his teammate at the front of this field. Maybe Brad doesn't feel like the softs will make it to the end unless he preserves them for a couple of laps. Maybe he's charging some ERS. Difficult for us to say, but yeah, not the kind of pace he needs at this point. The race win getting further and further away. Should we join him on board? I think we will for a couple of a few corners, see how the car is handling. Let's see what he's not got a huge amount of ERS. Let's see what he's got compared with Shakes. Well, about equal right now, this moment. So Brad just taking 1 or 2 tenths per sector out of Shakes, and if that is his top pace, then I think Shakes is going to hold on to this one. Let's go and have a look at Botta, who has caught Cowboy now. Botta just having to try and avoid Cowboy here on the way out of turn 1. Looking like it was quite easy there for Botta on Cowboy, who is on a long run on his medium tyres. But he's coming back at him. Here comes Cowboy on Botta down the inside. Doesn't want to give it away too easily. Oh, Botta manages to get too throttle happy. Maybe the aero upset on the way out of turn 4 into turn 5. That's a yellow flag. Will we see a safety car bring the field together or not? That's pretty huge for Bottas' race, unfortunately, and he is out. It's a VSC while the marshals clear the car. So a VSC, no, it will be a full safety car, and now it's a big question. What do the drivers decide to do here? What does Shakes decide to do? Put soft tyres on? Does everyone go for soft tyres to finish this race out? Ron and Sergeant Panda have definitely gone in. I'm assuming it means Sergeant Panda, and it's not a division or team I don't know of called SGT, but that's my assumption anyway. Into the pits then. No, Shakes avoids the pits, would rather have the track position. Brad is coming in because he's got the option to do the opposite, a la Abu Dhabi 21, Verstappen versus Hamilton. He can do the opposite of what the race leader does. Donovan does the same thing, and Shakes is going to have a heck of a time now. He's going to watch his rivals come into the pits. His only hope is that there will be lapped cars between himself and the second and third places. Donovan has those penalties though, remember, so that will be a factor in the podium calculations. Punaki, has he stayed out as well? Punaki has stayed out, so he could be a stumbling block here for Donovan's podium bid, but Brad managed to go in the pits and back out, and will be right behind Shakes. So we should have a very, very tight battle for the end of this race. Thanks and a just reward to everyone who has stuck with us here to the end. We've got 3 flying laps, hopefully, maybe just the 2 to finish this race off. And of course the car's now being collected by the safety car, so we should have a absolute firecracker of a race at the end of this one. Botta has been registered as a DNF. I thought we'd get one eventually, but what a shame for Botta to be that guy on the way out of the corner there, just fighting with Cowboy, and Cowboy retook the place. Botta potentially lost some aero performance on the car, so it does look like Shakes will have Panda between himself and Brad. Panda will have to have a competitive restart and then release Brad. So first corner or 2 corners might be free for Shakes. What I've seen before is when a lapped vehicle tries to let the other cars go before the safety car, before the start-finish line, and they can't overtake, or they'll pick up penalties, so the whole field starts to slow. That could really feed into this this factor at the end. Let's see what we've got for the penalties as they stand. Punaki's on 9, Donovan on 6, Burn It Down on 6. Then a pair of 3-second penalties for Stoffel and Cowboy. Martin's picked up 12 and going for Mr. Penalty tonight. Avalak DNFs under the safety car conditions. Avalak, what on earth just went down? I'd love to hear from Avalak in the driver chat or in the live stream chat. Avalak leaving the session. Let's see if we can see the car. Where is Avalak's car? Has he literally just completely discoed? His AI would still be running, wouldn't it? So where is Avalak's car? I can't see Avalak's DNF on the track map. He is with Panda in terms of track position, who is with the leaders at the moment. So Panda hasn't overtaken Avalak. What on earth just went down? Shakes is acting as if the safety car is coming in. Is it? That's the big question. I'm assuming so. Yeah, there we go. Safety car in. Shakes lights the touch paper, presses the loud pedal, and away. And look at the gap he's already got. Panda doing everything he should do. That confirms Avalak's DNF as well. I can't give you news on that one, as now Punaki is challenging Brad instead of the other way round. Punaki ran the outside. What a move from Punaki. Absolutely holding up Brad's bid here for the win tonight, as Punaki, with the 9 seconds of penalties, is getting right in the mix, and Donovan might enter the fray as well. Donovan getting the car down against Punaki. There's some contact. Punaki on the outside tries to close off the inside line now. It's not going to happen. Doesn't matter how much you wheel bang. Looks like Brad is clearing away from Punaki and Donovan. Donovan gets back past Punaki as well, so he has the penalty profit on top. Punaki trying to launch one down the inside. Punaki getting right in the mix here as we get the restart underway. But Shakes is going to have a devil of a job to hold that lead of 2.4 seconds to the end of this race. I'm not going to be able to keep up with every battle through the rest of the race. We've got Aston Martin stopped on track after turn 6. Unfortunately, I don't think that is a full-on retirement. Looks like he's able to get back running and will join the back of the grid, I think, although there's a lot of lap cars in the mix, so the back of the lead lap potentially there for the Aston Martin driver. Hesitronic is at the tail of the field, but Shakes trying to look in his mirrors. Donovan has the DRS and will really get under Brad's skin here, who hasn't even been able to clear Panda's car yet. Did Panda put soft tyres on? I can't quite recall. Let's have a quick look. Is Panda on softs? Yes, Panda on new softs, I believe. Yeah, indeed he is. So that's really going to feed into the situation here for Shakes, trying to hold on to the win. It's the final lap already. This is how it's done. Shakes bravely staying out on medium tyres in the last safety car. Shakes holding on to track position and takes the win in the Red Bull Ring round Austria. Round 3 goes to Shakes. Brad picks up P2. Donovan will hold on to P3, and our championship leader Stoffel P4 in the end. Burn It Down will round and get P5 after penalties. Cowboy P6. Punaki has to settle for 7th despite being in the mix for P2 on the road. And then Solsmeister, Ron, Martin, Sergeant Panda, J-Boy, Rubber General, Esotronica, some way off, crosses the line now. We might have to wait for... Why is Bottas' car suddenly reading us in the race again? Very strange. I can just about read Punaki's comment there. In Afrikaans, I believe, or is that Dutch? Sorry. Driver of the day goes to Cowboy in the Alpine. But there's no doubt it was a Ferrari day here today, with Shakes winning from Brad with the appropriately coloured top of that trophy. And it's champagne time for our podium. I'll take you through the final standings, and a big thank you to everyone who has been here through the race. Really big thanks, lots of gratitude to you for staying with us, and we'll take you through. Joshua Lee says, let's go 1-2 baby. So Shakes securing that P1. He didn't get fastest lap in the end. Brad stole it right at the end, but Shakes wins from Brad. Then Donovan, Stoffel, Burn It Down, Cowboy, Punaki, Solsmeister, Cowboy with driver of the day, I must add, from 17th up to 6th. Ron in 9th, Martin in 10th. Then we have Panda, J-Boy, Rubber General, Esitronic, Maxstar, and DNF. Unfortunately, we had Avalac, Ricky due to load shedding from the start, and Botta, unfortunately, as we caught him on stream fighting with Cowboy. Well, from me, Webbo, a big thank you to everybody. A big thank you to everyone involved running the league, especially to Avalac, and hopefully a good week on the cards for Avalac. But what we'll say then is a big thank you to everyone once again. Make sure you thank your league admin and your league owner, because it is a tough old job, especially when they're driving for you as well. You can follow me on Twitter if you like the commentary. That's at WebboRed5, same as my gamer tag, same as you can find me on most social media. But that's all, folks. That's all from us here at FTR for this week on Division 2. Don't forget to tune into the Premier Division by subscribing to the channel. You'll never miss a race. And from me and everyone at FTR, we will catch you on the next race day.